Hey there, YouTubers. Brady here with Good Packer Nation morning on a Face the Music Monday. I mean, we've got to take a long look in the mirror. It's not necessarily a happy day, but we are going to close on a positive note, loving our Green Bay Packers, even through some of the mistakes, some of the errors. But we are going to do Love It or Leave It, and it's going to be a very heartfelt Love It or Leave It. It's going to be a very honest one. We are going to go over a few stats, green line and red line, some stats. We're going to give a shout out and a happy birthday today also, and we're going to take some of the questions and comments that come in on the live feed. By the way, if you want to catch the show live, it goes at about 9 o'clock Central Standard Time just about every day except Saturday. So if you want to get on there live and enter into the emoji experience, you can catch it on the Facebook page at that time. We're going to have a good show. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below. Good Packer Nation morning, everybody. It is Monday, and it is a Monday made much less kind by the Packers losing to the Cowboys yesterday evening. I wore this shirt yesterday. I wore it again today because it has a subtle symbolism. The caricature of Aaron Rodgers has a subtle symbolism right now, and we need the real Aaron Rodgers back here at some point, or this team is in trouble right now. So I do hope your Monday is safe and relatively okay right now. It is Face the Music Monday, and let me know who you are, where you're coming from. And we'll do some Packer Nation roll call as we get on. I see Sean is here. Good morning there, buddy. DM is back, and Keith and Brent. Jared is here from Australia. We got another Brady here. All right, man. How you doing? Brady too. All right. Virginia is here. Johnny is here. Todd. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning here. It is not the dawning of a day after a Packer loss is not my favorite time of year, but I'm just going to look out the window and enjoy the changing colors in the leaves, right? Justin is here. Derek is here. Atreyu is here. Gloria is here as well. Says frustrating. Justin says that. Roll them up, guys. Emoji me your feelings. I see a lot of angry faces. You can hit the sad face. That is perfectly fine. We are here for a little, we've got to face the music, but we're here for a little therapy as well. We don't have a lot of time to dwell on this loss, and that, I think, might be a benefit to us, because guess what? We are rolling right up into another meeting with the Chicago Bears Thursday night. Emoji me your feelings. I've got a couple things I want to mention that are a little bit lighthearted and a little bit happy. So as you guys let it all out right now, I want to say happy birthday to Angel out there. She is a frequenter of the show and also a personal Facebook friend of mine on my personal page. And I saw her birthday was yesterday, actually, if I'm getting it right. And the Packers failed to give her her proper birthday present of a big Packer win over the Cowboys. So shame on you, Packers. You did Angel wrong. Janelle says, mad in Baton Rouge. We need a running back that can play all game. I think Eddie Lacy had a phenomenal game. And yes, we need him healthy. But let's see. Okay, so we've got happy birthday to Angel, but there is also one other comment I need to make before we get on. David is here. Sean is here. Two Seans, two different spellings. Good to see you guys. He's mentioning that even the Bears weren't playing that pathetic. Wow, yeah, it's not a good day in Packer Nation today, to be quite honest. We said this coming into this game. This was a game that was going to show where the arrow of this team was pointing, and it showed last night, and there's no question. Terry says Lacy was a warrior. I completely agree. Quickly, I want to give a huge shout out to my cousin Pat and his wife Gail, who, you guys know Trent from Mauston, Thayer's Jewelry in Mauston. He gets on here from time to time. He called me. I had been in the kitchen getting something or messing on the stove or whatever, and he calls me. Pat and Gail were like on the screen, on the camera, big time, like focused apparently. I tried to check it out. I haven't had a chance. I haven't found them because they cut away from it in the replay version. So big shout out to Pat and Gail. And hey guys, Why didn't you get us a win? You didn't cheer loud enough, Pat. Come on. But yeah, good to see the Cousins getting famous, getting up on the screen. They're a great couple. I love to see a very talented couple as well. So congratulations, guys. I'm glad you got to see the game. I wish we could have got a win. All right, folks, as we do every Monday. Oh my, Jeff is saying Aaron Rodgers is an alcoholic. Oh my goodness. Yep. Let it all out. Let it all out. It can all come out right here. We got to do it. We got to do it now because we got to turn around and play the Bears and get it done on Thursday. So while we're letting it out, let's play like we do on Mondays. It's time to play Love It or Leave It. This is the game where you emoji me your response. Love it, obviously. You hit the heart button. Leave it, you hit the angry face, all right? So warm up your angry face buttons, and if you're driving, don't play this game. Now, one of the caveats we say about this game is, listen, if you say leave it, I'm going to mention my whole first string is a bunch of Packer player names, all right? If you say leave it to a Packer player name, it doesn't mean you're not a fan. It doesn't mean you hate them. It doesn't mean you're not going to believe in them by this coming Thursday. It just means their performance was not adequate, okay? So let's play Love It or Leave It. Here's a bunch of Packer names that you might be familiar with. Love it or leave it right now. Aaron Rodgers. You guys might have known that one was coming. Love it or leave it. Aaron Rodgers right now. Love it or leave it, Mike McCarthy. What did you think about Mike McCarthy in this game? Love him or leave him in this game? There was a little confusion on the sidelines. He mentioned it after. We got a stream of angry faces coming across. Love it or leave it, Jordy Nelson. He had some catches in this game, but he also had another one get popped out of his grasp that almost was a fumble. Again, we had last week. He's got 2 games in which we haven't seen the Jordy Nelson that we're used to seeing. Love him or leave him, Jordy Nelson right now. I am going to move my microphone. I forgot to put it on, so that should help if you're having trouble hearing me. Love him or leave him, Eddie Lacy. Guys, Eddie Lacy. He came in, he played hurt. Had our offense been able to extend drives a little bit better, at halftime, he was pretty much matching Zeke Elliott in this game. He was, to me, I completely agree, a warrior in this game. Love him or leave him, Eddie Lacy. We should see that change over to a few hearts. There it goes. We knew that. Love him or leave him, Ty Montgomery in this game. Eddie Lacy was the offensive player of the game in my mind, and he played less than a lot of the other offensive players. He just couldn't get on the field. He fought to get on the field. Mike McCarthy made that clear, but Ty Montgomery was also a second. And finally, love him or leave him, or not finally, but also love him or leave him, Mason Crosby right now. Do you love him? Do you leave him? You could say leave it because we should be scoring touchdowns, not kicking field goals. On the other hand, Mason Crosby, when he is pressed into service, getting the job done, he's like at 40 plus right now. He is hitting the ball as well as anybody in the league right now. Love him or leave him, Mason Crosby. And I have one last one for you guys this morning, one last personal name. Love him or leave him, Dimitri Goodson finally coming back from suspension. Dimitri Goodson in this game did some good things, but also some not so good things. I think I know what Jeff Hayes, if he's out there, I think I know what he's going to say about this one. Jeff Hayes is the writer of the Rants and Raves R&R Post, which is also very therapeutic and cathartic to those of you who appreciate big words. Yeah, okay. Well, let's go into some situational stuff. Love it or leave it, just quickly. Love it or leave it. 3rd and 1 on the 19-yard line, and the Packers bring in Jason Spriggs. They add a lineman, go inverted bone with all of their big guys in. This was a huge bunch of men out there on the field, and they couldn't get a push up front to make one stinking yard. Love it or leave it, 3rd and 1 on the 19-yard line. And I see a lot of, you look, that play, I loved that play call. I loved that personnel set because what it said is we are bringing our big boys and we are bringing our big guns and we are coming at you. And then we couldn't even get 1 yard. Absolutely. It fries my brain to think of that. Love it or leave it. The play afterwards, the Packers, instead of going for it on 4th down, take a field goal. Mason Crosby comes on, get her done. We put 3 points on the board. Love it or leave it. not going for it on 4th down. And remember, this is the play in which Mike McCarthy apparently wanted to go for it. There was some miscommunication on the sidelines. So love it or leave it, not going for it on 4th down. And that's the one that's getting the mixed reviews. There are a lot of people that wanted us to go for it, but there are also a few that thought, you know, we're just as well off taking the points because Mason Crosby's money, and hopefully we can do a little better job, which we weren't able to do. And of course, hindsight is 2020. All right, love it or leave it. Morgan Burnett breaking Dak Prescott's streak without an interception. I should see hearts just streaming across the field of view here pretty quick. Morgan Burnett, I called that play. I stood up out of my chair and I said, we are getting an interception right now. No sooner had I said those words, came out of my mouth, and they drifted and cosmically went to Lambeau Field and went into the headset of Morgan Burnett. And he dove and broke on the ball and made the interception. I was actually like flabbergasted. I mean, it literally just came out of my mouth, and bam, Morgan Burnett breaks that stinking streak that everyone was talking about. Well, guess what? It's over now. You get your cute little mark in the record book. Congratulations. However, also, we've got to put some hearts up right now for Joe Thomas, who did not end up breaking the interception because it was an open hand. It ended up being a fumble that Julius Peppers knocked loose. And Joe Thomas goes up, tips the ball, and then completes his own interception on the tip drill. That was a phenomenal play. Joe Thomas, let's give some love for him right now. That was one heck of a play, not only by Joe Thomas, but Julius Peppers. He just dinked his guy. He just gave him a little push and beat him around the edge. The offensive lineman didn't even get his hands on Julius Peppers in that play. It was phenomenal. And really, I think Joe Thomas, man, he deserved to have been the one that broke that Dak Prescott streak, but a phenomenal play nonetheless. So there are some good things we're going to distill out of this game. One last love it or leave it. Actually, I may make this into two, all right? Now, this is serious, guys. Love it or leave it. Brett Favre is out there on camera patting Dak Prescott on the shoulder, talking to him, smiling it up because I guess he wears his number. Oh, you were my favorite quarterback growing up. And Aaron Rodgers in the press conference after the game said, well, yeah, I saw Brett Favre because he was on the screen, but no, they never talked. Love it or leave it, guys. What's going on? All right. And corollary to that, love it or leave it, Brett Favre coming back to Lambeau now. We're 0 for 2 when Brett Favre comes back to get some kind of accolade or pick up his ring or have an unveiling. Do you love it? Do you leave it? Is he a bad luck right now? Are we letting him down by not performing in these games? Love it or leave it. Brett Favre coming back to Lambeau Field. There have to be some mixed feelings at this point after the Thanksgiving game last year. So that is your love it or leave it for this Monday morning, and I hope it is therapeutic to you because it definitely makes me feel better just to let it out. And again, this doesn't mean we're not fans. We love our team, and the reason we love our team, and well, part of the definition of loving our team is not being happy when they play poorly. And this offense, I think the defense, if the offense had had a better game, I think the defense could have held up better. That could be another love it or leave it. We called our timeouts to try to preserve some time. Mike McCarthy said he would do it all over again if he had the chance. He wanted to give the defense a chance for a stop so that our offense could get out on the field and have another chance to score. And of course, it didn't work out that way. Ladarius Gunter, lost the name for a second there. Ladarius Gunter falls down on a play. They end up with a big play and finally in the end zone. And it was a very sad ending to the half that way. We had bounced back from something like that before, but we're not even close to able to do it in this game. We did finally score the one touchdown. Yeah, this was not a good game. There's a lot that needs to be corrected, and we need to correct it quickly. We talked about this before the game, that this was, number one, we said this is the game that's going to show where the Packers' arrow is pointing, and we are not trending in the right direction. Last We're not trending in the right direction. Last week, I made the comment that you look at the body language of the coaches and the way that they're answering questions now, and almost to a man, very few of those, they don't look like they either don't believe in the offense themselves, or they don't believe that they are capable of getting the offensive woes fixed at this point. Mike McCarthy, once again, took it upon himself to get angry at the press for asking tough questions. And the real question out there is our coaching staff able to right this ship right now? Is our coaching staff able to coach up Aaron Rodgers right now? Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure, like he said, is as hard on himself as anyone else could be. However, Aaron Rodgers is the one that also called the press out and basically said that they were too stupid and inferior to him, that what we do out here is we just watch Pro Football Focus, was the comment he made, and we don't really know anything about the game of football that's actually going on the field. Well, I think at this point, for everyone on the Packers team, you can stop using that as your excuse that we don't know enough, because we know when things are going wrong, and things are not right at the quarterback position right now. Period. Plain and simple. Aaron Rodgers has been off target for several games in a row, basically since this season began, and there are no excuses at this point. You can talk about last year. This is the same offense as last year, and we've got Jordy Nelson back healthy. We have an Eddie Lacy who you can't blame for being too fat anymore. And this offense can barely drum up one touchdown a game. It's Face the Music Monday, Packers. And they're coming back to get some work done today. It's time to do the cut-ups. It's time to make the corrections. No more excuses. Don't offload your anger at your own performance on us by saying we don't know as much about football as you. Because there's a logical problem with that line of thinking. And I could do the mic drop on you, Aaron Rodgers, for saying that, because I guarantee Aaron Rodgers can't, I'm not going to go into it, but because it's Monday, I'm blowing off a little steam. I know you guys have to too. But Aaron Rodgers, we have to start throwing the ball right. That's all there is to it. Yes, the receivers had drops. Jordy Nelson, I think, had 3 drops in the game against the Giants. We were able to pull that one out. And there's a lot that needs to be fixed. There's things that need to be fixed on the defense as well. But right now, when we're missing open receivers, this is a very, very big problem. I'm reading as I'm talking. So Justin is mentioning the fact that this may stem from, it may go all the way back. We were 6-0 last year until we ran into the Denver Broncos. And he's saying ever since then, Aaron Rodgers has begun to struggle. One of the comments that I've heard, and I think we just need something to refocus us right now. I think we're not going to, obviously this offense isn't going to be jarred into good play by losing games. I mean, we could hang our hat on the fact that Aaron Rodgers usually bounces back from losses, but that doesn't solve the problem. Bouncing back from bad games doesn't solve the problem of having bad games. Of every time we run up against a good opponent, we can't score to save our lives. Jerry's asking if we can win this division still. Yes, we can mathematically, obviously, but I think the question is deeper that you're asking, Jerry, is, with the way that this offense is trending right now, can we right that ship? And you add to that the fact that Minnesota is now 2 games up. We are now down to the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC. And we've got a November where we don't get to see home field for the entire, and we got to take on the Washington Redskins. We also got to take on the Atlanta Falcons. So it's a very, very good question. Yes, mathematically, we certainly are still in it. The sky is not falling in terms of what our record is by number right now. The question, and nobody, we can't panic. We cannot afford to panic as a Packers team right now. That's the last thing we can do. But what we also have to understand is the deeper issue is, why is our offense playing so poorly? It's not that we're playing down to the competition. It's just that we are playing poorly no matter what the competition is right now. Even the games we win, we're not hitting on all cylinders. We're missing. So I think on a positive note, I just want to take a minute. I know I did this earlier, but Eddie Lacy in this game, guys. Eddie Lacy, a warrior, was the comment was made earlier. Eddie Lacy in this game, he's all taped up. The ankle, we saw him, they kept him north to south to try to protect that ankle. Every play that Eddie Lacy ran the ball, he left the ground and jumped and was in the air and made an extra 4 yards. And for crying out loud, Eddie Lacy with the gutsiest performance I think I've seen in a long time. He really deserves, and I wish he could have been on the field more. I just wish. Because Ripkowski definitely took a step back. Ripkowski was no John Kuhn out there when we needed him on 3rd and 1, right? But Eddie Lacy was a warrior. Brad's asking who we got next. We got the Bears. Eddie Lacy was a warrior. And this team, you can't, Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers, you can't talk about the injuries in this game. Because look at the Dallas Cowboys. They were basically us last year. They didn't have Des Bryant. It was like they're Jordy Nelson. So we have zero excuses. That's what we said going into this game. One of the comments I made about this game is this is the game in which we cannot rely on the defense being able to win this game for us because the Cowboys offense is too high powered. They can just do too much. They're too multidimensional and they can just do too much. They're playing too well. That's not to say, and again, our defense gave up too many points when all was said and done, but much of it had to do with the fact that our offense continues to put them on the field too much. And the defense gave the offense the ball back twice. And we'll talk, circle the stat, guys. I do the red line, green line on circle the stat. Well, here's one for you. Maybe this is a good caveat, right? How about us turning the ball over 4 times on offense again? Thank goodness our defense gave it to us a couple times to give us a chance to actually stay in this game. Look what happened in the Minnesota game. We turned the ball over way too much. So I think Eddie Lacy had a heck of a game. I think Ty Montgomery had a heck of a game. I think Mason Crosby had a heck of a game. I think there are some guys out there. I think you watched what Ty Montgomery was doing. He was angry, and he was out there playing as hard as he could. Actually, I think Jordy Nelson felt the same. You saw some emotion out of Jordy Nelson. I'm not sure this time if it was for better or worse because he was angry out there. So we've got in Ross James's, this is a great comment, the turnovers weren't even due to good defensive plays. It was just us mishandling the ball. And you go back to the fundamentals, and this is a team, this is somewhat the problem I have is why as a professional football team are we still having fundamental difficulties, especially on a football team that highlights these fundamentals, reviews them on a regular basis. Why are we having these issues? And that then gives me some question marks as to the coaching staff and whether Aaron Rodgers is a player who is beyond the scope of the coach, quote unquote. That he thinks he's so elite that now the coaching staff, we saw this has a tendency to happen with great quarterbacks. And Aaron Rodgers, he's not great this year. But I'm not taking things away from him because he has played great football in the past. But I'm starting to wonder what's going on. All right, let's go over some stats. All right. Red line, green line, some of these circle the stat little items. Aaron Rodgers, 31 of 42 with 294 yards and the 1 touchdown. He did have the touchdown. That is a green line stat for me. Of course, then you add to that the interception and it kind of nullifies the whole thing. How about a green line for Eddie Lacy out there, 17 carries for 65 yards. Had he been healthy, this game could have been very, very different because we may not have been playing from behind. We wouldn't have had to get creative about the packages that we're putting on the field, bringing Spriggs on, an extra lineman, and that just not working. My goodness, how can you... we bring out all our heaviest players. We bring out all our biggest bodies. We get ready to pound the rock, and we can't even move the pile. Just negative. Unbelievable, that play, which leads me to another a red circle stat. Aaron Ripkowski, 1 carry for 0 yards, Aaron. It's not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. Not when we put in every freaking 300-pounder we can get in front of you. And really, to me, it looked like he had that yard on the outside, possibly. He would have been matched up against either a cornerback or a safety coming up. But had he bounced it out, and I don't know what his assignment is in that. So if he had bounced it out, I think he had a chance to make that yard. The fact of the matter being, though, he should not have had to bounce it out. This is a Packers offensive line that has moved the pile time and time again. We bring in extra heavy bodies, and we can't move the pile. Red line stat for Aaron, and this one, we needed that yard. You got to get it. This is John. This is the reason they let John Kuhn go, was for you to do exactly what you failed to do yesterday afternoon. All right. All right. Receiving group. We've got Ty Montgomery with 10 receptions for 98 yards. I'm sorry. Almost broke 100 yards. And just played what I thought was a very gutsy performance. Feed is breaking up a little bit. I thought Ty Montgomery's, aside from Eddie Lacy, who truly was injured as a running back and really, I thought, had the gutsiest performance of the night, I thought Ty Montgomery was a close second. Jordy Nelson, 5 catches for 68 yards and a long of 25. Randall Cobb, 7 catches for 53 yards. We knew he was going to be important in this game. Devontae Adams with just the 2 catches, 34 yards, but a long of 22. And I think the thing I remember most about Devontae Adams was the big drop again. And Tammy is saying, we need John Kuhn back. I think, you just feel like Kuhn would have got it done. He's older. He's not as fast. I don't know. Maybe he's not as strong in the weight room. But John Kuhn, when you needed a yard, generally speaking, he got a yard. And John Kuhn I don't think John Kuhn ever had the advantage of this package that we put in. Very, very interesting to me. All right. Hey, guys, how about a little love for Trevor Davis in this game? I thought Trevor Davis had a good game. He had especially the punt. He had the 25-yard punt return. I thought he had a good game. He didn't, obviously, we had some receivers get out on the field. Well, let's finish the receivers. We had Trevor Davis didn't end up making a catch in this game. I thought that punt return was nice. Richard Rodgers, 2 for 15, but he also had an important drop. Jeff Janis, 2 catches for 14 and a long of 8. Eddie Lacy out of the backfield had the 1 for 6, and Justin Perillo, of course, we knew would have to get some play, and he goes in, and like he always does, again, he reminds me of John Kuhn. He doesn't get any playing time, but every time he goes out on the field, he does something good for us. And Justin Perillo had the 1 important catch for 4 yards. But I thought Trevor Davis had a good game. I thought Julius Peppers with that forced fumble was huge in this game. We didn't get enough sacks in this game. I was hoping for more, but we did force the 2 turnovers, and that was something that obviously the Cowboys were hanging their hat on, and we were able to get a couple on them, guys. And had we not given the ball away 4 times, that's again the difference in the game. So, all right, I got one stat that I'm not sure you guys would probably think, just thinking about it, I'm not sure you would think that this stat was as good as it was. Remember, the Dallas Cowboys, I think, led the league in third down efficiency over 50% through all 5 games or whatever it was. And we held them 3 out of 11 for third down and 27%. And that's very good. But in this game, it's a little bit deceiving because a lot of times they got their first downs on second down. We gave up way too many big plays. However, for our offense, contrary to what I would have thought, we were 7 of 13 and had 50% or 53% of our third down efficiency. So there was a little glimmer in there that we had some consistency. There were times where we had consistent drives going. The problem I think we're still having is critical mistakes at critical times that keep us from converting once we get to the red zone. We finally made it into the red zone. We needed to match touchdown for touchdown. Let me ask you, okay, that's enough stats. Let me ask you this, all right? Give me a thumbs up if you were thinking the same way as I was, right? Because the Dallas Cowboys came out on the field and their first offensive series was brilliant. They basically walked down the field, scored a touchdown, right? Were you with me? Were you thinking this is the Packers offense's chance to prove it, to match this one touchdown. And if we match this one touchdown, that means our defense is going to get some rest. They're going to dial some things in. The next time, the defense will likely get a stop. I still trust this defense to some extent. Were you with me? Were you thinking this is our chance for this offense to get it done, even though Eddie Lacy is hurt? And then we watched and we drove the ball all the way down the field. And then on 3rd and 1, we roll out this huge new package. And we can't get a yard. I mean, if you were with me, and I don't know if I made that comment to Jonah or not, but my thinking, no, I did make the comment, because when they scored the touchdown, I said, all right, that's it. This is where our offense proves that they can score enough points to win, because everybody in Packer Nation knew that this was the game in which we couldn't rely on our defense doing everything for us. The offense was going to have to score, and they failed to do so in this game. Just not able to generate enough points to win in the NFL right now against anybody. And our defense has had some good games, has had some bad games. We've had mostly good games and with some bad series and bad plays. We've had too many cornerbacks falling down. But again, if our offense had been able to click and match even that very first touchdown, I think the whole scope of this game could have changed. So Luke is asking, what's my thought on that package? Let me tell you, Luke, what my initial thought was when they rolled it out on 3rd and 1. I was ecstatic. I thought it was awesome. I was like, because it was, and the reason I liked it was because to me, that package says, we are here to play smash mouth football. We are going to get our big guys out there and we are going to bruise you up. I was absolutely flabbergasted, to be quite honest, that we couldn't gain a yard with those guys in there. And so, frankly, I think we will never see it again because it was so wildly unsuccessful. And I think you said you didn't like it. I liked it from a philosophical standpoint because put your big guys on the field and let's get our first down. I believe Eddie Lacy Eddie Lacy was probably off getting taped up. They were doing everything they could to keep him on the field, and that's what they were working on most of the time when he was off. So I liked it when they initially rolled it out. But then the absolute abysmal failure of it makes me never want to see it again. And again, I'm going to watch it again because I do think that Ripkowski had the opportunity to make that yard by bouncing it out in that play. However, like you said, if you're going to like that that personnel package, you like it for one reason, and that is we are going to push you on your heels. I don't care who you bring, we are going to force it down your throat. So bouncing it out, man, I would have been happy that we got the 1 yard, but I would not have been happy about why. And yeah, at this point now, I look back and why I hope we don't see that package again at this point. And part of the reason I hope we don't is part and parcel of the reason we saw it in the first place is Mike McCarthy had to find a way to compensate for not having any running backs available in this game. And we talked about this, right? Remember last week, we said Aaron Ripkowski was going to play a key role in this game. That one play could have been a much more pivotal play than anyone expected out there. And that was Ripkowski's chance to shine. So we will see. We'll see. We need, we've got all the excuses in the world right now. We've made the excuse that everybody who negatively comments on the offense doesn't know football. That does not stand to logic. In case anybody's unclear on that does not stand to logic. Just because we don't know as much as someone else doesn't mean we're incorrect about any statement about our offense being right or wrong. And so when Rodgers did it, McCarthy's done it in the past. When they do that, what they're doing is deflecting the question that they know they need to go back to the film room and start to get some answers to. And the fact of the matter is, at this point, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have answers. Coach McCarthy doesn't have any answers. The coaching staff all last week, you could tell, they do not have answers to these questions. So we have a Bears game coming up. We're going to quickly shift over. We're going to get more positive, but this is Face the Music Monday. And the team gets back to the field, goes into the film room, gets into their meeting room, and they're going to have to answer some questions. Now, Is it fortunate that we have the Bears coming up, who are not necessarily, they're not that great a competition? Maybe so, but guess what? They're also NFC North competition. We drop one against the Bears, and now we are really hurting. Now that question earlier that I think maybe it was Justin that asked, can we still win the North? Well, then now we are really hurting. I expect us to bounce back and get a win against the Bears. You remember, of course, we've got to talk about my prediction. If you got the prediction right within 6 points total spread, I didn't see anybody pick against the Packers. So, and Mike says we're not as bad as the Bears. Come on. Mike, what about last Thanksgiving? I don't see any indication that we're better than we were at that point, So we will see. Like I said, I think we'll beat the Bears too. I think we'll bounce back, but it'll have more to do with bouncing back. And to be quite honest, beating the Bears doesn't change my outlook on where this offense is heading in particular right now at all. And we've got, I think Peggy's saying, think positive, and we will, because when the Bears come to town, actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, we play the Bears at Lambeau. When the Bears come to town, they're gonna meet up with an angry Packer team. But here's the question that remains. We just have to start hitting our stride on offense. We have got to be, we said the devil is in the details last week. And that's exactly what you saw out there. The devil is in the details. These fundamental little things that we normally would do and we make a mistake on in one play ends up in a turnover. Now we're up against the wall and the defense is on its heels. The devil is in the details, and this is Face the Music Monday. They are going to have to go cut it up. One thing I liked, especially about the way Jason Spriggs talked, and I do like Aaron Rodgers, at least finally, is at the point where he can't sit there and deflect questions about his performance. These guys are willing to get in there, look at what they did wrong, and make a heck of an effort to correct it. So we've still got time. The record, this is still fairly early in the season. There is the possibility out there that this team, just gets those details right, and pretty soon we could have a string of very good games. We have a difficult schedule coming up after this Bears game. It's going to get really tough for us, but maybe sometimes champions are forged in the fire of defeat, and that is the way that we have to look as a Packer fan base. That is the way the team has to look. We learn more from our failures than our successes, and it's time to get ready for these Bears because they are coming to town quick. Sunday late game to a Thursday evening game. That is going to be really, really a stress on this offense. Hopefully Eddie Lacy didn't re-injure the ankle. Hopefully he is able to get, just because this becomes, after this Bears game, we get a little extra time. McCarthy called it like kind of a mini bye week because we get our game out of the way on Thursday. If we can pull it off against the Bears, now we get just a couple extra days to get rested, get healthy, and get back on track. All right. Scott is saying if Favre stays home, we can squeeze out a win. That's what I mean. I don't know. We did it and love it or leave it, because I've got to start to wonder, and I don't know how Packer Nation feels. Is Favre bad luck? Oh my goodness, to even say that out loud. Or does this team just need to perform when this guy comes to the house? We show him getting his ring and we unveil his name and number. We just need to get it done, But it's either way. It's hard to watch. And either way, Thursday's coming, and we're going to get this thing fixed. All right, folks, we went over some stats. We did our Love It or Leave It. We gave a shout-out to Angel and Pat and Gail for being on screen last night. If you did, I didn't see anybody coming across saying that they had hit the prediction. If you get your prediction right, you have the right to jump on and pat yourself on the back, although it definitely is it's bittersweet if you got the prediction right of a Packer loss. Now, from my perspective, I had the Cowboys scoring 21 in this, but I had the Packers scoring 31. I thought remember, it was opposite George Day. Everything in my mind was saying the Packers are not going to match up well. They've been losing time of possession. Actually, in this game, we basically broke even, but we won the time of possession by a hair in this game, like by 10 seconds or something. So that wasn't the issue. But the issue was when we got to the red zone, we could only kick field goals, and we didn't score enough to win this game. All right. Jerry said he had 31-17 Packers. Well, yeah. Brian is asking, did anybody catch Favre smiling after the Cowboys converted on third down before the half? When he figured out the camera was on him, he wiped it off his face. Uh-oh. You're brewing some controversy, my friend. You're brewing some controversy. Maybe it's Face the Music Monday. We might as well face the music all the way around. And that's one thing that I think, there are areas of the game that Aaron Rodgers is fantastic on, and there are areas of the game that really Brett Favre was fantastic on. And one of those was rising to the occasion. Now, he would sometimes put the team at risk because he would play the gunslinger mentality, but you could tell, that's one thing about the history and the story of Brett Favre is when the big games came around, and in particular when emotional things were on the line, the game against the Raiders after his father died, he really had a tendency to step up. So we need to see that out of our offense. And again, devil's in the details. They've got to get these little things fixed or they're going to continue to haunt us. But the Bears are coming Thursday, and hopefully we can get a big win, guys. I'm going to let you go on this Monday. Don't get too down. Give me a Go Pack Go with a heart. Come on, it'll make you feel better. I promise. And have a good Monday. Be safe out there. I hope you do have a good week. I hope the weather for you is like it is for me. There's not a cloud in the sky. The leaves are turning colors. It's beautiful out there. Enjoy this Monday afternoon. And I hope that you have a good day. And we will very quickly be watching our Packers again and ready to watch them go ahead and get a win this time. So go Pack Go. And remember, get the ring. If you haven't jumped on our website, www.greenbaypackernation.com, you can jump on there, fill out the form on the post that says get in before the app comes out, and or just get in contact with me. In fact, I think we may have pulled the form by now. But get the ring, folks. All right, have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat place.